So you can't divide, but I decided sine of.
81.641.
I like that you're.
Or 41.35.
I got 41.
Yeah, probably that one.
Yeah, I got
She already reached where I am and I still haven't even answered.
What question? I don't know.
Why do you do it? Why? That's how you would answer.
Are you live for me now?
Should be.
I'll go one time.
Okay, I get it.
All right, so
Wait, so I'm not done.
you guys can still continue. I was just gonna record a law of sine video. So
Mister, is someone watching?
okay, so law of sine. Let's start with law of sine. So you guys, if you can help out, just whisper. So I'm gonna go over the law of sine, the proof of law of sine. Some of you guys are not here yesterday, so and I didn't record a video yesterday. So we're gonna talk about law of sine. So the law of sine is sine of A over A is equal to sine B over B is equal to sine C over C. But before, when we talk about SOHCAHTOA, so let's talk about SOHCAHTOA before. SOHCAHTOA, the requirement is this. It's a right triangle. Okay? Okay, so it's a right triangle. Law of sine is something that it doesn't have to be right triangle. So, but it's actually start with a right triangle. So I'll show you very quickly. So some of you guys, in case you're wondering, this is the H. This side is A. This side is B. This side is C. So this is not a right triangle. This is not a right triangle. So I'm going to draw an auxiliary line here. The auxiliary line is going to split up to two right triangles. And we both call this H. And this side is going to be small a. And this side is small c. And this side is b. Sorry, small b. So with this, I can find out the h. Because I can say sine of a using SOHCAHTOA. Okay, sine of a is equal to what? H over C, right? How about sine of B? Or sine of C, sorry. Sine of C is equal to what? H over A. Can I both solve for H? So we see sine of A is equal to H. A sine of C is equal to H. So then since they both equal to H, they can set it equal to each other. Sine A is equal to A sine C. And then I can cross divide both sides by C. So that's going to be sine A is equal to A sine C over C. I'm going to divide by both sides by A, so it's going to be sine A over A is equal to sine C over C. So that becomes the famous law of sine using two SOHCAHTOAs. And by using two SOHCAHTOA, I can figure out a proportion. The proportion of law of sine, the proportion basically says how wide the opening, the wider I open, the bigger the other side is. And they are proportioned by all three. So this comes down to this. Now the only thing that's a requirement, the requirement for law of sine is this, is what? One corresponding pair, right? One corresponding angle and side. So then once you figure out those one corresponding angle and side, directly or indirectly, I'm going to talk about indirectly because first question could be indirectly. So then you say, okay, well let's figure out the first one. The first one, I'm going to draw a right triangle. I mean any type of triangle. Ariana, you got this? You got the first question? Okay, so maybe you want to write it down. Okay, you solved the first question already? Okay, solve it. And if you need to pay attention here. Or write it down, I'll help you. So here it's gonna be A is a 40 degrees, so we're gonna say this is a A, this is a B, this is C. So we're gonna say this is a 40, and this is a 22.5. Anytime you have this triangle, is we're gonna find all the information. So B is a 12. So this is actually ASA
Wait, I
case.
thought B was down here.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where you draw. The drawing doesn't matter. You have the correspondent matter, but the drawing doesn't matter. Does that make sense? So I can draw it anyway, but I just have it matching correctly.
Why can't you draw like maximum surface to keep it consistent?
Well, it doesn't, that's what I'm trying to say. The information, long as this is matching, B is matching side B, A is matching side A, C is matching this, it doesn't matter. So this one, we're gonna call this side C, and this is A. I'm consistent just in this way, because not every time you're gonna draw exactly the same. I don't remember which one I drew last time. I don't really care. I only need to care about this is matching this is matching this. B has to matching the B, which is a B information is given. So that's 12. So then I can figure out that the things here, so I can figure out sine of 40 degrees over A, and I only need use one of them, I know for sure I know. So what is A? A is 33, right? No, A is, sine of 40
Is unknown.
over A is unknown. But we do know B, what is a B? So here's the thing, we need to find all the information first. What is a B?
117.5.
117.5, how do you know that?
Because
Add
it's
them and
equal and
subtract from 180.
180 subtract those two add together. So once you want to start out with, just figure out all the information first, because if you have two angles, you know the third angle. It's called third angle theorem. The third angle theorem says if you know two angles, the third angle is very easy to find out. So then I can say sine of 117.5 over 12. Am I going too fast? Let me know if I'm going too fast. Jinzi, am I going too fast?
No,
So I'm gonna cross multiply, right? So that's gonna be 12 sine of 40. So this is indirectly, I don't have to give you this. I don't give you matching side first place. This is, you had to get a third side. It's equal to A, 12A, 12 sine 40, A sine of 117.5. So A is equal to 12 sine of 40 over sine of 117.5. Can somebody tell me the answer?
For A, it's
8
I put 8.7.
8 point what?
It rounds to 8.7.
It rounds to 8.7.
Okay, so 8.7. So once I figure out 8.7, so now I have this matching pair, right? I have this matching pair, but I can figure out this C. So here's my question. Do I use this matching pair? Do I use this matching pair?
The first one.
I will use the first one. Why the first one's better? Because the first one is the answer is now. I didn't cut off the decimals here. So I'm using the original information. It's preferred. But it's not necessary, but it's preferred because it's more accurate. Because it's called premature rounding in mathematics. If you take this number, there's a lot of decimal, and I decide to cut off all the digits after that. So just make my next calculation more deviation compared to the original one. If you are shooting rocket to the moon, you better use the correct one. Question about the first part? No, right? The second part. The second part is different. The second part is, we call it as ASS case. And we talked about yesterday, ASS case. I call it pain in the ass case. And we can talk about, there are ambiguous ass case, which is there are two triangle, or they are one triangle, or they are no triangle. But since we have time, our time is limited, we're not gonna cover the two triangle one, that's really difficult for people to understand. Most likely people did it wrong. So I'm gonna just cover one triangle for the ASS case. And you can also cover the one for no triangle because somehow in the process, you're gonna get undefined, so that's no triangle. So now, if you have ASS case, right? So then I'm gonna say, well, I'm still drawing out a triangle, so there's still 57 degrees, so A is equal to 57 degrees. And A is gonna be 33, and the B is 26. Does that make sense? Do I have a one matching pair,
Yeah.
which is the A, right?
Yeah.
So 57 over 33 is equal to sine B over 26. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'm gonna cross multiply this, so it'll be 26 sine of 57 is equal to 33 sine of B. Now here's the hard part. The hard part is I'm trying to isolate a B. But before I isolate the B, I need to isolate the sine B first. I cannot divide by both sides by 33 sine. You're gonna get undefined. So you're gonna isolate the sine B first. So this is the one I'm isolating. So I'm gonna divide it by 33 on both sides. And I'm gonna get sine B is equal to 26 sine of 57 over 33. And then I'm gonna evaluate a B. Okay, Deborah, how do I evaluate a B here? How do I get B by itself? Inverse.
Oh.
So then you're gonna get B is equal to sine inverse, I'm gonna sine inverse on both sides, right? If I sine inverse on both sides, the sine inverse and sine cancel out and just left the sine inverse on here. So it'll be 26 sine of 57 over 33, and whatever answer you get is what?
41.358.
41.358. Now with that information, you can find out rest of the information. So 41.358. Then you can find out this angle, and then you can find out this side, and then you're done. You can find all the information about this.
Yeah.
Question about this part. Now what I'm gonna do is, since we're using law of sine and law of cosine, I wanna implement something else. I wanna also teach you how to find area. So here's what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna teach you how to find area of a triangle. But since we already have two tools, I have a law of sine and law of cosine. Okay, so area of a triangle. What is the area of a triangle?
1/2
Height, yeah.
Is 1/2 base times height. And they probably have SAT question like this. I don't know. But that's very easy, right? We know this, right? So this means this. If I have a height has to be formed by 90 degrees. Does that make sense? And this is the base. And it's 1/2 base times height. And those of you guys, you need to know why, is if I have a base times height, it's gonna be this. If I have base times height, it's just gonna be a rectangle. But this one is gonna be matching this one's matching with this one, so therefore it's 1/2 of a base times height. So it's 1/2 of a rectangle, basically, with the same base, same height. So that's and the cool thing is it doesn't matter what this point is. If this point is all the way here, right here, it's gonna form the same triangle. Even can be outside, it's still gonna have the same area. So those are the things that you should know from back in the days, from geometry class. But I don't know. You might not know. Okay, 1/2 base times height. And this is just the standard one, right? Standard formula. Now we're gonna talk about non-standard formulas. What if I don't give you, I only give you a base, and I give you an angle, and I give you another side. So for example, I will give you the situations here. Let's say this side is, I don't know, 8, and this side is 12, and this side is, let's say, I don't know, give me like a 30 degrees. 30 degrees too easy. Let's do 40 degrees, right? And we say, hey, can you find the area of this case? So how do I find the area if I have, say, this is a 40 degrees, and I have this side and this side. So we have a base, right? We don't have a height, but we have an angle. So those are the SAS case. The SAS case. A SAS case, now if you want to find the area of this, we can go back to SOHCAHTOA and go remember how do we prove this. Then you say, how do I do that? You can draw something called auxiliary line again. Have you guys heard a term called auxiliary line? I told you yesterday. What does auxiliary line do? You can make two right triangle, but auxiliary line is just a line that can help you solve a problem. So I can split this. And I'm going to split exactly 90 degrees. We're going to call this H. Because we need H to find out things. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm going to use the standard formula equal to 1/2 base times height. What is my base in this case? 12. For the height, we're gonna leave it alone right now. But can I find out a height if I have an angle?
Yeah.
SOHCAHTOA, right?
Yeah.
So be sine of 40 degrees is equal to H over 8. Would you agree? And I can move the 8 to the other side, so it'll be 8 sine of 40 degrees. Then voila, I'm done. 1/2, 8, 12, sorry. 12 and 8 sine of 40. Now let's pay attention to what the thing is. Is 1/2, one of the side of the SAS, and one of the other side 8, and then sine of the angle in between. So that makes, so this is what I would do is if I do it without formulas. But they are actually formula. The formula area of SAS triangle is this. A, which is this side. B, which is this side. And sine of the big C, which is the angle in between. It turns out it works in all different ways. So it can be exchange. BC sine of what?
A.
Big A. Is also equal to 1/2 AC sine of what? Big B. So it could be any of those if you have side, angle, side. Yes?
Can you find the area of one triangle and then add it to the other one?
Yeah, but that's too much trouble. And that's just not 1/2. So it's too much trouble where you just find out 1/2 based on height. I'm going to talk about a third way to find triangle. Since we talked about area of triangle today, I'm going to talk about a third way. The third way is very, very important. The third way in mathematics is actually very interesting. It's back in the day, about, I would say probably 2,000 years ago.
Oh, fun.
there is no female mathematician. Female is known to be stay home and cook.
What?
2,000 years ago. Just 100 years ago, that you guys don't even have a voting right. So, but imagine 2,000 years ago, what women can do. But there is a woman, her name is Alexandria. I think she's either Greek or Roman, but I don't remember where she's from. But her name is Alexandria. Her last name is Heron. Alexandria Heron. Alexandria Heron, 2,000 years ago, where mathematicians dominated by men, she was only person that was females, and she was one of the first pioneer female mathematicians. She says, I can prove mathematics just as well as men, 2,000 years ago. So her name, you have to know. So I'm going to talk about a third way to find the triangle area. So the third way is by Heron's formula. Alexandra Heron. Alexandra Heron is very special. She says, if I can find a perimeter, and if I take a perimeter divided by 2, called a semi-perimeter, and I can apply this formula of mine, I can find triangle when the side is given. Okay, so let me repeat it again. The requirement has to be side. Yes, side. So if a side is given, then you can find the semi-perimeter, which is defined as A plus B plus C divided by 2. That's a semi-perimeter. So we're going to call this the semi. Semi is half of perimeter. And you can find this area is equal to square root of S minus A, S minus B, S minus C. It looks intimidating to use, but you have a calculator. You can do S times S minus A, which is 1 to the side, S minus B, 1 to the side, S minus C. Semi-perimeter is going to be longer than that. So you can find the third way. So there are 1, 2, 3. So we're going to talk about how to find area of triangle now. So I have maybe B is equal to 48 degrees, and the A is equal to 10, and the C is equal to lowercase c is going to be, 15. And I want you to find the area. The second one I want you to find the area is if you have A is equal to 12, B is equal to 13. C is equal to 13. So I want you to find the area of this. This will end up working out pretty nice because we actually know this. So I want you to find the area in 2 different things. So 1.5 base times height doesn't work anymore on those 2 cases. I want you to find out the area of triangle on those 2 cases.
What does it say,
Semi-perimeter. Semi-perimeter, perimeter is all 3 sides. Semi means half, like semi-sphere is half a sphere. Semi-circle is a half a circle. Semi is just a prefix for half. So let's find the area of a triangle here. Let's say find area of a triangle.
Oh, it's 48.
Well. Yes, she is. Sophia, you're supposed to go to the field trip, you know that, right? Am I right now? You're supposed to go on a field trip. She said she don't know. She said she don't know. Yeah, what kind of field trip again? Valencia? No, she says she don't know anything about it. Okay, I got her. Is there another Sophia Moreno in this school?
No, but I didn't, like, they offered it, but I said no.
Oh.
I didn't need to.
Square root 1,000 is.
Wrong?
1/2. Yeah. Not 118, 48.
And then I just,
I think calculated.
look at for the area of number 2. I'm just checking. Are there one?
How do you use SAS?
Right. Oh, right. Yeah, but
30.
one second. The side.
Sophia got,
It's something
I
like
got 30. I got 30. So
I got 30.
Yeah, I got 30.
Yeah, that's
Reorganize it.
Kevin, you're officially leader. Both you don't be leader. Those are good.
Wait, Mr. A.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I got 74. Oh, yeah.
Alright.
I was gonna try out.
Yeah.
Next one, Haran, don't stop.
I know, but like,
I have to process
so the next one.
You also know why second one is 30, right? Do you know why second one's 30?
These are all small.
No, that's not how you do it.
I don't know, I feel like it's a trick question. I want to answer
That
that.
formula is when you
Do you know why second one's 30?
Yes, because all the sides added together.
I'll show you, but first one's easy, right? This one is what? Sine angle side, right? So this one's 48. So this one is B, and this side is 10, this side is 15. So I divide sine angle side is 1/2 AB, so be 10 times 15 times sine of 48. I don't know what is that.
55.
736.
Okay, so this one here, we have a size 12, we have a size 5, we have size 13. So then you say, hey, I've just used the adherence formula because I have size giving. So I can say 12 plus 5 plus 13 is equal to what?
15.
15, right? You sure? Okay, so then you say square root of 15 times 15 minus what?
12.
12 times 15 minus what? 5 times 15 minus what? Then you should get 15 times 3, right? Times 10 times 2. That's equal to
900.
900?
Yeah.
And that's equal to 30. But I kind of give you a trick question on the second one. Yes.
It's the right triangle.
Because it is a right
Rotate it,
triangle.
5 to the base, 5.
Yep.
It's whatever it's called.
5, right? 12 and 13. So 5 times 12 divided by 2 is equal to 30. And that was the right triangle. It works with any kind of triangle as long as you have side, side, side. But since 12, 5, 13, it has to be right triangle because that's a Pythagorean triplet. If a Pythagorean triplet, I can use 1/2 base times height. You just have to know it's 5 and 12 is base and height. And of course, it's not by scale because it doesn't look right. So then, you'll get the 30 by the way, if you were quick. But the problem we just show you, the Alexandria's formula works. Heron's formula works, sorry. The Heron's formula is a very powerful tool. And the proof is amazing. I don't even understand it, honestly. It was like 2-page long. I was like, how in the world you come up with this stuff? So that proves that women can do just as well as men are mathematicians, even 2,000 years ago.
Cause it's smart.
Yeah.
Mister, for number 1, you don't have to find height, right?
You can find height. Essentially, you're finding height. Essentially, you're finding this is the height.
But you don't need it.
But you can use the formula. It's faster. If you recognize 1/2 ABC, that's what I think about it. 1/2 AB sine C. Okay, so that's how to find area. So today's homework, you're gonna have some bearings. You're gonna have some bearing questions. You're gonna have some bearing questions, as well as some log sign questions, as well as some area of SAS, ASA, SSS, and the SAS. And by Monday, we're gonna go through law of cosine. Law of cosine is gonna be quick, so we're only gonna spend 30 minutes because we only have 30 minutes on Monday. So then,
What are we doing Tuesday?
Tuesday is a block day, right?
Yeah.
I mean Monday, because we have you at the end of the day.
Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
what day
but-
do we have you for the block?
But we have you Monday. But we have you Monday
For
You have me
at the end of
Monday?
the day.
Ew.
Way to end my day.
Wait, for 2 hours
It's the weekend.
Monday?
Yeah, we have 2 hours here Monday.
What are we gonna be doing, mister?
Haha.
What are we gonna do?
Throw his phone out the window. No.
What?
No, he said
What are we doing?
Alright.
We have
I'll
a-
check
you
you
have a
out.
test.
You have a test?
Bearing?
We have a test
On what?
on Monday.
On what?
So are you gonna post a review?
No, this is pretty much
But we
review,
haven't
and
had
we also
review.
gonna review.
I think we should review.
We also review 15 minutes on the test day.
Oh, okay.
I think
Yeah,
we
mister,
should
I was paying
review on
attention when we
Monday.
learned bearings, so I have no idea how to do that.
Yeah,
It's on the video.
That was the video for it?
It's really easy.
I don't even know what bearings is. I use that every day and I act like I know and I don't know.
When are we taking the test for this
Oh, 3.
A block day.
Monday?
So Monday. Oh.
So we're gonna spend 50 minutes, go over all that stuff, and then we'll give it a test.
What?
15 minutes.
Only my second year is testing. What?
He's really gonna make us.
Only if one of my classes is PMA, so I don't have one class.
Wait, at what time is it? Because I'm coming too late to school.
It's in the afternoon.
It's
What time is it?
It's like the last 2 hours of school.
That's my teacher told me.
in secondary, I mean, it's not.
And I'm going to Saturday school tomorrow, so I feel like even though I have an A, cause like I have like a 98. The teacher asked me, she's so easy. All my classes. You can't do that again, though. I saw him throwing it like that. I'm like, like I have cup noodles.
Don't mumble. You know, with my ex, he always used to like. He's one of those guys who was talking like, yeah, he wasn't talking clearly.
Sophia. Is it yeah, Chris?
Yeah, he was always mumbling and then.
Yeah, he
He was
mumbles a
like,
lot.
and I'm like, no, speak. You mumble.
He mumbles a lot. That's why I never used to like talking.